Few get the chance to learn from, coach alongside, and follow in the footsteps of one of the best, but that's exactly the path Dani Busboom Kelly, Nebraska's new head volleyball coach, is walking. While much has been said about the transition, here's a look at how Dani's journey began and what led her to coming home. At just 14, Dani first caught then Nebraska coach John Cook's attention at a volleyball camp. In a 2023 ESPN story, she recalled John asking to see her hands, which she found odd. He was already envisioning her as a future setter. Dani was supposed to leave for a softball tournament, but Cook convinced her parents to let her stay. She'd later shift her focus to volleyball, despite John saying she also had one of the best fadeaway jumpers he'd seen on the basketball court. From 2003 to 2006, Dani played as a setter and libero for the Huskers. After a tough loss in the 2005 national championship, the team moved to a 5-1 system. It was tough for Dani to accept, but she agreed to put the team first.
It was a tough time in my career, and I had spent 3 years as a setter, and I felt like I had done the work. But, I knew that the best thing for the team was for me to switch positions.
It paid off. Dani's senior year, she was elected captain and named Big 12 Co-Libero of the Year, helping the Huskers win the 2006 national championship.
And she was a great leader, and that's when I knew she would be a great coach.
After college, Dani had a brief stint with the U.S. women's national team, then worked in insurance before feeling volleyball call her back. That's when her coaching career began. She started as an assistant at Tennessee, then Louisville and Nebraska. She'd returned to lead the Cardinals to 2 NCAA championships, 3 semifinals, 5 regional finals, and 4 ACC titles over 8 years as head coach. But Nebraska always held a special place in her heart. She negotiated a clause in her Louisville contract that would allow her to leave for her alma mater penalty-free. When John decided to retire, she was number 1 on the wish list.
I wanted to make sure that I did not take Nebraska off the list of my opportunities, but I also knew that I wanted to be true to Louisville, but unless something at Nebraska came up.
But the decision ultimately rested with Nebraska's athletic director, Troy Danin.
If Dani was not in Nebraska, and if Dani did not play here, if Dani did not coach here, Dani is the right person to be the head coach in Nebraska. Over the last 8 years, her winning percentage at Louisville, second in the country. You know who was number 3? That guy right down there.
Dani's accolades include numerous ABCA Coach of the Year awards, highlighted by a stellar 2021 season when the Cardinals' only loss came in a 5-setter to Wisconsin in the national semifinals. While leaving Louisville was tough, she said it's an opportunity she couldn't pass up.
So I wouldn't say that the timing is ever perfect, but for me to be able to come home with a baby on the way, with all of our family here, and so it was a little bit of God's timing that this is what our family needed.
John says the greatest achievement of his career is passing his program to a former player and assistant coach.
So I feel really good about putting Dani in a position to keep this program going. And we've learned lessons here since I've been here in the last 25 years, how it can go bad. And we got to do everything we can to keep Nebraska volleyball going. And Dani's, she's the right person.
It's an honor to be part of a place that cares so much about the sport of volleyball and continues to push the limits and shows everybody what can be done and that it works and people care.
Dani says the best way to honor John's legacy is to continue the program's winning tradition.
And I know he would have loved to go out with the national championship, but I also know that he will be just as happy watching this team win one in December if it comes to that.
Dani and her team are now in winter conditioning, preparing for the annual spring match. From the 1011 Now streaming studio, I'm Danielle Shank.